Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khush aamdeed, ji aaya nu, goeiemorgen.
Bakhair Agale, Ni Hao, Tunashumbe, Washwale, Ohio Gonzaimas, Guten Morgen, Hola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifa Hal, Hale Shumachatore, Ahlan Masalan Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swabi, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very amazing, the very superb, the very outspoken, the very liberal, ladies and gentlemen, Shiraz Hashmi and Shiraz Khan. Hello Shiraz, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you so much for asking. What about you? And what made you say all those things?
Oh, well, I think that you truly deserve such compliments, and
Okay.
it's because of the fact that we have worked together for the longest period of time as well.
Right.
And this is what I think of you, and I want you to know that I have always thought very wonderfully well about you as well. And I think
That's
that every
brilliant.
other colleague who's out there, if you do not think like this, probably you really need to sit down and talk to each other as well. As well.
But thank you so much, Shazad. This actually makes my day whenever you do
Really?
that. And I'll tell you why,
But
ladies and gentlemen.
the way you're saying it doesn't really feel like as if it's making your
I
day.
think that's my lifelong problem. But anyway, here's the thing. I feel like if you're working in a team and as long as there is no teamwork among, I
Yeah.
mean, of course, your colleagues, it's not going to work out. The results are going to show, right? There is no synergy or you guys are not synchronized with each other, which, well, happens to be an amazing case for my team because I'll tell you what, I feel like even before we met, we had us all vibing, right?
Yeah.
So we always know what we need to talk about. We're always on the same page in terms of sharing ideas and, talking about things and inviting people and whatnot, which makes me sort of, well, feel good because this is my first job.
Yeah.
And it's actually a good environment
Wow,
for me to
that's
work
great.
in.
That's great. So, but there's one more important thing which I think I'm going to share it
Okay.
with you and for all of those people who are out there watching us in more than 40 countries, ladies and gentlemen. So this is something which I came across probably on Thursday, and on Thursday I was about to text you, and I was
Yeah.
like, hey, you know what, Shiza, if you feel as if you're not speaking a lot on the show, you can probably share it with me
Okay.
as
Did
well.
someone say something?
No, nobody said anything, but I was like, okay, you know what, we can actually ask each other as well. But then I was like, okay, if she hasn't realized it, what's the point of me asking? So here I am today, ladies and gentlemen, confessing early in the morning. And this is, I think, a great deal, ladies and gentlemen, for people to think about their team members or what they might be thinking about. But
Absolutely.
unnecessarily, you're not supposed to text them or whatsoever until and unless they feel like it, so you really need to take a step back.
Absolutely, that's brilliant. And I think you put the message across very well as well, more than one actually. But I think, Shazad, we need to talk about something really,
Exactly.
really important. And well, because we are not on air over the weekends, so this is the, well, nearest day to the weekend that we got, and we had to speak about it. So, for the past 2 years, Imran Khan had been speaking on the international fora and always highlighting Islamophobia.
Exactly.
For all the people who try to shun it or who try to put it down, who try to neglect the fact that it really does exist, and in most of the cases it is even state-sponsored by different,
Exactly.
countries and
Countries.
whatnot. I think we need to realize that not only as Pakistanis, but the entire Muslim Ummah in every part of the world needs to come together to act, first of all, realize yes, it exists, and number two, I want to say, like, sort of shut out those people who call us out on these things. Here's the thing, our premier always says it, and I stand by it. Marginalization will lead to radicalization.
Exactly.
So if you start creating such an environment where you're creating prejudice and hate for a certain group of people, and you're actually enabling and encouraging other people to commit acts of hate against those
Exactly.
people, you are actually manifesting, well, radical people. That's what it means to say, and that
Exactly.
is what's going to happen.
And it's a
so
wonderful
next, sorry,
message.
Shazad, the
Yeah.
next time if something bad happens and if a Muslim commits it, you cannot call them out because you are the one who marginalized them in the
Yeah.
first place, right?
Exactly.
Right. So this is actually very disturbing. And why are we talking
And
about
I
it?
even want to add to this as well that, God forbid, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, in any part of the world, if God forbid there's mass murder or there's any such thing or there's a terrorist attack, God forbid if they're a Muslim, they'll be like Islamophobia and whatnot.
Right.
But God forbid if they're not, but if they're not Muslims, ladies and gentlemen, what they do is that they come out on news and they say, hey, you know what, the guy wasn't mentally fine or he wasn't doing
Exactly.
mentally well.
Justifications.
So there were other problems with him or her as well in that matter. So our premier, Mr. Imran Khan, ladies and gentlemen, has actually requested Mark Zuckerberg to please ban all kinds of content which includes Islamophobia as well. Not just that. And I think that Mark Zuckerberg should actually listen to this request, and it's because of the fact that if you can ban the Holocaust content as well, why can't you do that? I think that Everybody needs to speak about it. Every other Muslim needs to speak about it. It's about our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And ladies and gentlemen, each and every single day we are ready to sacrifice our life for him.
Absolutely, no question in that, no doubt in that. And I think this is the best thing and the first thing that our Premier could do, and he did immediately, right? And Shazad, where you said, there are certain filters to filter out information or, any kind of news regarding the Holocaust or similar things as well. So there should be similar things in terms of Islamophobia as well.
Exactly.
We have seen so many, just another example, even on Twitter. So, the Muslims living in the Indian illegally occupied Kashmir, if they sometimes do get access to internet and they tweet about something, that tweet gets blocked. Can you believe that? Isn't that, that is one aspect of Islamophobia. I really do believe that. I really hope we come out of it stronger, first of all. And then I really hope that the people of this age actually realize, we should not be discriminated upon the mere fact of religion, first of all. And like you said, we're always here to protect our religion. And I think right now, one of the things that we can do is actually abandon, I think if it's the right word, abandon French brands for now and, not directly be in business with them for now.
And we do not even want to be in business with you if that's what you're going to do with us, or probably. And I think that, if anybody's getting this idea that Muslims are vulnerable all over the world, that's not how it is.
We're just nice people.
Yeah, we are in control of ourselves as well, and we are just trying to make sure that, that we are going to request you initially. The rest, obviously, I think if it's going to come down to us, we not only abandon, we'll make sure that no one uses those brands as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that everybody needs to speak about it. Each and every Muslim who's out there, they're not happy with this. So if you're listening, it's okay. If you're not listening, we'll make sure that you'll have to pay for this as well.
Yeah.
But now coming down to how can actually one feel good about themselves? I think that this is one thing which I would love to talk about today. So ladies and gentlemen, back in the day, when my back wasn't really very well, I had a disc prolapse, so I was on the bed eating all day long. I actually weighed 106 kgs, So this
sort
face you're looking
right
was probably, if it's this much, it was that much back then. And the only thing which kind of disturbed me quite a lot was that every time I'm going to open up my front camera, I was like, hey, you know what? It's of no use taking a picture of yourself because I just didn't look good.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? I cannot actually picture you at that part. I don't know if I even saw you when you were that as well. But when we talk about,
See,
feeling
that's
good,
how colleagues are nice to you. This is how they say it because she's actually seen me in that condition.
Oh, okay. So when we talk about feeling good, Shazad, I think you're right. The first thing that does make you feel good, the foremost thing is your physical appearance.
Exactly.
Yes. And of course, now we have the era of pictures and selfies and whatnot, and I feel like it has become sort of an unsaid rule kind of to look good, and that is how you will feel good.
Yeah.
But throughout this process, there's one thing we need to talk about. Actually, more than one. Number one, looking good. Now, this is just one of the examples we will talk about today, where
Look
major
at the top right corner
transformation
and
happened.
the left right corner as well, ladies and gentlemen. That's where the story begins from. And say towards the left downside, I think, is where he's actually very happy about what he's done, or probably the top left corner as well. I think that this guy did a phenomenal job. We're talking about transformations today, but before we introduce, it's not this gentleman only over here in the studios. We have another lady as well, so we're going to share her picture as well from back in the day, or probably, let's see, can we please take a look at this picture as well? The lady who's actually joined us, so we have inspirational stories over here in the studios with us, who will actually be speaking about their weight loss journey and how very healthily I think that they kind of achieved the kind of target they wanted for themselves.
But we can't judge that. We actually have an expert over here who's going to judge if the process was healthy or not.
And the expert herself, ladies and gentlemen, used to weigh 90 kgs before this stage as well. I don't know whether she wanted me to say this or not, but we kind of discussed it before the show. So everything people discuss with us, we kind of give it away as well. So we have a small video of this amazing lady and the kind of journey and the kind of hard work she's put in as well. So please go ahead, take a look. And once you guys will come back, we'll actually be in conversation with these amazing people, good-looking people, confident people, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. Let's take a look.
Okay, this was actually, yes, really inspiration. You were right in the first place as well. And this makes me feel like, to be honest, maybe I will never have that kind of commitment or the stamina to pull this off. So I think hats off to the person who did this.
Yeah, I think you only have to wait till the time you're actually going to gain another extra 40 kgs, and then
I
you'll have
hope
to
not.
look for such motivation.
Probably.
And probably you'll be like, you know what, probably if I can do it, I'll be the best person on this planet as well. And this is what happens as well, ladies and gentlemen. So from 106 kgs, I came down to 87, then gained back like another 10 kgs as well. But I'm happy with my weight now. But ladies and gentlemen, very quickly, without any further ado, these amazing people who've made it possible for themselves are over here in the studios with us and are ready to share their stories. Ladies and gentlemen, first up we have a fitness motivator. Well, that's a new niche, ladies and gentlemen. I heard it for the very first time.
I'm motivated.
And she's a creative designer as well. She is Miss Ashraf Jasani. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Good morning. Nice to have you. I'm really happy to be here.
It's likewise, and you look wonderfully well as well. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank
It's
you for
wonderful to
having
have you.
me.
A lot of
It's
people
our
are going to take
pleasure.
inspiration from you even today.
Yeah.
Not just from you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another gentleman over here who happens to be from a profession which is very noble, but people in that profession certainly do not really look after themselves as well. He happens to be a
Fact.
lecturer or a professor as well. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Mr. Shiraz Khan. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum salam.
How are you, Hunk?
I'm good.
It's wonderful to have you over here. Thank you very much for
having
joining
me.
us. And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, I think that if you're going to speak about Rawalpindi or Islamabad, she's one of the best nutritionists over here. And she's done it for herself as well. So, for all of those people who are an example for themselves and for other people, I think are the people who really need to speak about how their journey was and what people need to do in order to stay healthy and lose some weight as well. Ladies and gentlemen, she is Miss Fatima Khan and she happens to be a nutritionist. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum assalam, how are you?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. So first things first. I know you're raising the finger, but Miss Ashraf,
Which is a cue among ourselves.
yeah, yes.
Just to make that
So
clear.
Miss Ashraf, I'm going to ask a question from you, and that is that how did you gain all this weight, and what was the maximum you went to?
So my maximum weight that I went was 95 kgs.
Wow.
And one of the problems that I had as a child, as when I was really small, was I went through a lot of problems. Like I had typhoid, and then followed by that, I had this hair loss journey where I had to take the doctors had given me steroid injections, and then followed by that, there was this time when. I don't know how when I had typhoid, and it was a hyper one. So there was this point and stage in my life where I knew that I had to make a difference in myself. I need to do something to change. But I was like I never was that motivated enough to actually go forward and act and behave and follow the right path towards that motivation. So
But before going towards that motivation, what I need to ask is that when you were at the maximum of your weight, how did you feel? Did you feel that as if there's no going back? Did you feel good about yourself even then? And why did you think in the first place that there was a need for you to get fit?
So I used to feel very lethargic.
Yeah.
Not that I was always very confident at that point of time as well. I knew that there were certain things that needs to be done in a certain way because the way I was brought up, the way I got educated.
Yeah.
I was told that you don't body shame people just because of the way they look, just because of the way they physically appear. You have to judge them by their intellect. You have to see that how are they dealing with situations in society,
Exactly.
how you face a situation and you find a solution and then you work your way around it instead of blaming yourself for being the victim. So we say that when you're pointing fingers at someone, there are 3 fingers pointing right back at you.
Exactly.
So people say and they do things, they body shame you that's because that's what they like to do, right? And the only thing is that what they are looking forward is to provoke you to act or behave in a certain kind of a way which is going to satisfy them. But what we need to consider is that how much self-esteem, how much confidence, and how much respect you need to create for those people. How much
And how hard you can strike
and
that.
how, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what? That's brilliant, Ashraf. And when you spoke about the values, that you were instilled with, I think it's brilliant. Compassion and empathy have been imparted to you. But unfortunately, you won't meet a lot of people with these values, which is
Exactly.
why you had to face such, sort of, I want to say, criticism coming from the society, which you never asked for in the
Yep.
first place. But now moving on to Shiraz. Shiraz, rather than getting into all the technical stuff, which we will eventually, to begin with, was it your personal decision to actually, just go after it and change your life by changing your physical appearance? Or was there a part of the society in it? Was there a lot of name calling or body shaming? Or no?
Or was it your students in your class as well? Shiraz sir, you probably need to lose some weight.
Oh, you know what? We actually did that to one of our teachers, and he did lose weight. Well, go on.
Well, primarily it was me myself, and then on the second place it was the society. So what I feel is that I developed an eating disorder because I was just eating 24/7 before sleeping. I could not sleep unless or until I ate something right before sleeping.
Okay.
So then I started realizing I had a lot of health issues which were attached to my obesity. So that is the point where I decided, because I was 112 kilos and my life was really, really difficult. I mean, those small things that normal people don't even care about, that is where you realize being fat, you have a very huge disadvantage because you're getting ill every day and you're facing a lot of small issues. So that is where I started realizing that I need to reduce my weight, and I started reducing my weight. And then there is a lot of body shaming. I don't know whether my students used to call me nicknames or not, but definitely they matlab motu ya. And I was fat and I had a beard and large mustaches. So people didn't used to make fun in front of me, but obviously at my
So
back.
let's talk about the process, though. Do you think it was an easy one?
I don't think anything worthful is easy to achieve. It is difficult at the end of the day. As they say in the American Navy SEALs, that everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
That's absolutely
Exactly.
right.
That's true. And before we actually ask you about the process as well, ladies and gentlemen, imagine all of this information coming out of her nutritionist's mouth as well, where she actually used to weigh 90 kgs and she's come down to a staggering, I don't know, probably 40 or 45. I mean, whatever her weight is. I'm not sure whether I should be asking that or not. But yeah, tell us about your journey. How did you do that? And what is the healthy way of losing weight? Because before we come to them, we really need to know. And then when they're going to share their journey, you actually have to let us know and our viewers know as well whether that was a healthier way of losing weight or not.
So I believe that when I was fat or obese, I was very delusional, and I still believed that I was beautiful. And it was just the pressure of the society, basically my family, my immediate family, who used to tell me that I look 10 years older than my age and I look ugly, and I need to lose weight, and which is why I did. And it was a really hard process, and I achieved this over 2-3 years. Like, it was, for me, it was not something that happened over 6 months or 7 months. It slowly and gradually happened, and ever since I've maintained this weight for like over 5 years now. So like, I think the good thing was that maybe the process was so slow, it was easy for me to sustain it for a longer time period.
Oh, does that matter, though?
Yeah.
It
The
does.
time- okay,
Yes,
okay.
it does. So basically, I always tell my patients that it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And if you think that you're going to do this for 1 year or 6 months or 3 months and then get back to what you were, you're going to get back to what you look like.
Exactly.
So if you eat, you will gain weight, and if you don't, you won't.
But just to be clear on this, I want you to let each and everybody know out there, whoever is watching us on their television screens, that obesity is actually a disease.
Yes.
And and the foundation of so many diseases that we never talk about.
Yes. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to speak about obesity and being underweight also.
Sure,
So having any kind of weight problems where you're obese or you're less than your ideal weight, you are in a disease mode.
Okay.
And you're more prone to all diseases, all infections, especially when you're obese, you are more prone to chronic diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, heart diseases, liver diseases, etc. So when you lose weight, you overall reduce the disease burden on your body because fat just leads you to being unhealthy. Like if you heard both of them, one of the reasons why they lost weight was because they didn't feel healthy.
Yeah. Lethargic.
Yeah, they were tired, they weren't feeling fit, they weren't feeling well. So maybe I was really young when I lost weight, so I wasn't facing any health problems back then. But if I had pushed losing my weight into my mid-20s or like late 20s, I would have also faced health problems.
Exactly, and that's true, ladies and gentlemen. I think that one of the reasons why I had to lose weight was that, okay, once my backbone got fixed, the doctor told me that you cannot gain that weight back because otherwise it's going to show symptoms of you having problems in the backbone once again as well. So let's hear the journey out from Ms. Ashraf in the first place. So what did you do? So you were 95 kgs now. You've decided for yourself that I'm going to lose all this weight. What did you do? Did you go to somebody? Did you go to a person like Fatima and ask them that, you know, what do I need to do?
So I knew one thing, that, you know, if I had to start this journey, I need to be consistent. I need to have a certain perseverance. I need to have a certain way of life from which I try not to go back.
Discipline.
Discipline, yes. So I went to gym and I started walking. That's what I knew. And I used to look at the areas, you know, where all these pretty girls and all the guys, they would do the weight training.
Yeah.
And I would just look at them and I feel, oh my God, I can never do that. I mean, they all look so confident. They, you know, they just own that place. So I wanted all that for myself because I was like, okay, so I have started walking. What's the next step? What should I do more? I need help. I need to ask all the mentors. So I saw this class going on. It was a sweat class, and I approached that instructor, and I just went and said that, you guys look so pretty performing all these exercises, but, you know, being myself as a really overweight person, like, will I be able to accomplish all these exercises? So there was one thing that he said, that you know, there is no such thing that you cannot do. The word impossible itself says that I am possible. So just do me a favor, whatever exercises that we perform, don't stop. So while we were doing that, I met another friend who in the later stages of life, you know, really became like a person and a source of inspiration for me.
Wow.
And they introduced me to the coach who were couples. And when I first started the journey with them, I was really excited. And one thing that my coach, she told me was, Ashraf, you know, if you want to continue this journey, we don't want you to stop, and we want to see results. And if we don't see the results, we'll stop training you.
So how was your diet like, and what kind of training were you going through?
It was a mixture of weight training and also cardio at the same time.
All right.
All right.
And the diet? And the diet?
And my diet, so that was also another kind of counseling that I actually went through with my coach. So they actually took me out for groceries, and they observed at the things that I was taking, and they kind of told me that, you know, you need to have a look at the macronutrients at the back. And because every packaging has a certain kind of macros that we will be fitting into your diet. So it's proteins, carbs, and the fats that you're looking at.
So let's start from your breakfast. How was your breakfast like?
So that changed with the amount
Obviously,
of time,
I do get it.
because according
but
to
we'll have to share it with our
body
viewers,
mass
right?
index.
Yeah.
Yes. So with my diet, it was usually fried omelets or white eggs. I would have a protein shake.
Okay.
And then the second meal would also be like having a source of protein, any protein, with some vegetables involved, because it's very important that you add fibers into your diet. And it should be a balance of everything.
And how many meals were you taking in a day?
5 meals,
5 meals.
Well, okay, and you know
but
what?
small quantity.
Okay.
The portion actually
Portion,
matters. That's
yes.
what I learned.
Yes.
To be honest, I've never been strict with any sort of
The
that.
size of your fist, ladies and gentlemen, that's what they say.
Okay, so here's the thing. We want to know about the entire process that you went through. Of course, I'm pretty sure there were difficulties, right, with the kind of job that you have and with the kind of routine you must have at home and everything. How were you keeping up with, strictly following all those things? And how long did it take for you to reach your set goal? Is it actually what you received? But just, hold on to that thought, because ladies and gentlemen, we're heading out to a very short break. What you can do is actually go out and grab, well, a controlled portion of plate of breakfast for yourself,
Yeah.
and then we'll be back within a minute. Stay
Exactly.
tuned. Good
I had
morning.
5 boiled eggs today.
Mashallah.
Yeah,
Well.
just in case. I want to
morning.
stick that. Good morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everybody who just got tuned into PTV World, you're watching World This Morning alongside my very amazing co-host, Ms. Shiraz Hashmi, and my name happens to be Shiraz Khan. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're actually trying to bring to you success stories of weight loss and how people manage to get their confidence and self-esteem back. So up on the list now, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Shiraz, who's actually going to share his journey with us.
And we're bringing these inspiration stories early in the morning, so maybe one of you who's probably looking out for some sort of motivation to start your journey, this one is for you. All right, so Shiraz, to begin with, how was the process? How did you go about it? Did you start immediately very strictly with the diet and the workout, or
Yeah.
well, let us know
So
everything.
first of all, it took me exactly 1 year to lose 42 kilos. So
Okay.
it was approximately 4 kilos per month.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you
My-
plan that way?
4 kilos.
No,
per
I
month.
didn't properly plan that
Okay.
I'm going to lose 4 kilos per month.
Got it.
I just went off with the process. I started off with the process. So I'm a lecturer, a university lecturer, and I do a lot of research. So research is something that I'm good in.
Okay.
So I started off with properly researching how should I go about it. So I read 2 nutritionists. One was Dr. Dean Ornish's book, The Spectrum, and the second was the Engine 2 Diet of Dr. S. L. Stein.
Okay.
So these were the 2 people who I read, and then I came to realize that vegetables and fruits are very important for a person. So it's not only getting slim, it's not only about getting slim, but it's about achieving the perfect health. So I went for caloric deficit. I didn't calculate my carbs or because I don't think that is accurately possible for a normal person like me.
Okay.
And secondly, being a male in the society, I mean, you have those stereotypical things. Okay, a male cannot go into the kitchen and all of those things. And I wasn't married. So my mother used to help me out in my lunch boxes, but I used to wake up an hour earlier in my routine, and I used to cook my food myself. And I also used to arrange everything by myself. So it was a lot. It was more about lots and lots of vegetables and fruits. And I reduced the animal portion in my diet. So I reduced it to around 20-30% of my diet. So after every 2-3 days, I used to take some animal products. Otherwise, animal products, I reduced them because I learned that animal products create a lot of inflammation. And when I practically implemented this diet, so I felt a lot better.
But one thing, Shiraz, you know, you make it sound easy, to be honest. I mean, when you talk about incorporating all these veggies and fruits in your life after a type of life that you never had, you know, it wasn't easy, I'm sure. It sounds boring, to be honest. So how were you like so strict
not
with
having
it?
barbecues, no fish, no mutton
No
kadai.
pizza? I mean, come on.
It's like once in a month or once in a week,
Cheat
you cannot
day?
have a barbecue. No, it's not a cheat day. I never had a cheat day specifically. Like I didn't used to plan my cheat day. Ke, aaj I'm going to do a
But
cheat day.
do
It's
pizza
all about
खाऊंगा.
it's about completely changing your lifestyle. So you
That's
actually
nice.
when you change your lifestyle and it is intentionally, deliberately. So obviously you start enjoying that process.
Yeah.
And did you feel healthy?
Yeah, I felt very healthy. That is the reason that I stick to it, and
You still follow that routine.
I still follow it.
Wow, that's
because
great.
it is my lifestyle.
So have you
now.
gained a little weight
Yeah, I
back
have
as well?
gained
How much is that?
Only 5-6 kilos.
Only 5-6
and that
kilos.
was intentionally.
All right.
Because I thought I was.
And
was
you're married
around-
now as well?
No, I'm not married.
Or you're not? Because you said because back then you
Yeah,
weren't married.
we
Because
thought-
ladies and gentlemen, marriage is one of those reasons over in Pakistan where pretty much the boy and the girl both can actually reduce their weight because meri shaadi hai yaar mujhe kam karna hai. And everybody is helping them because over here in Pakistan, you know, the mothers they will just feed you with any and everything as well. They're like, beta jo plate mein dala isko khao, khatam karo isko. So I think that this is one habit which the mothers need to kill. Okay, I think kids actually do make mistakes probably every single day, and they're not really sure when they're hungry that how much they're going to eat. So pushing them to finish whatever they put into their plate, I don't think is a brilliant idea. Probably the food which they've left over, you probably need to store it in your fridge, and then later on, whenever he or she asks for it, just give it to them as well. That okay, now you can have them. So now moving on to the expert over here. So you've heard both the stories. Please let our viewers know that you know what's the right way to do it. What is the healthy way of doing it as well? Because you lost a lot of weight, probably 40 kilos, I think, and you haven't gained it back. And I think that this is one loophole that people do this dieting and they come back to having the same weight again as well. So how do we kind of gain lean muscle that we do not get fat over and over again?
And you should answer that also because you're an authorized dietitian, so
Yeah.
go ahead.
So basically, first of all, I would tell people to please not do any crash diets or keto diets, Atkins, any chemical diets, the GM diet, all these diets that are there. They're really famous. Yes, they are promising because people end up losing 10-15 kgs in a matter of like 30 days, 40 days, and then people are like, whoa, this is all I need in my life, and I'll be, you know, back on track. Only yesterday I had a patient and she's getting married in like 3 months, and she only has 3 months and she wants to lose at least 30 kgs. And
Is that possible?
no, I told her it's not possible.
Okay.
But that's the thing. So whenever people ask me, "Ke, how much time will it take me to lose an X amount of weight?" I ask them, how much time did it take you to gain that X amount of weight?
Right.
And so basically it's like mathematics, okay? Your 1 kg of fat equals to 7,000 calories.
Okay.
To gain 1 kg, you need to have a surplus of 7,000 calories, and to lose 1 kg, you need to make a deficit of 7,000 calories.
Oh.
Now, an average normal person needs somewhat about 2,000 calories per day to maintain their body weight, right? It can be less also. So like for me, it's 1,400 calories. If I eat more than 1,400, I will gain weight, right? So everybody has their own BMR, basal metabolic rate, and as per that, they're supposed to have their calories. And so let's say I want to lose a certain amount of weight and I need to make a deficit of 7,000 calories. It is unrealistic for me to make a deficit of more than 1,000 calories per day.
Exactly.
So let's say today I've made a deficit of 1,000. Over 7 days, I'll make a deficit
1
of
kg.
7,000. And by the end of 1 week, I'll be losing a kg.
Okay.
And
okay.
that is the most ideal weight loss. Anything more than that or anything less than that means you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Which means, like he said, in a month, we lose about 4
4
kilos, 3 to 4 kilos.
That's
Okay.
right, right?
That's
that's
the most
healthy?
ideal weight loss.
Perfect, perfect.
But what happens is that when I keep dieting for a certain amount of time, my body goes into a certain mode, and obviously your body gets used to that new lifestyle that you've adapted, so your weight on the machine stops fluctuating.
All right.
And then your weight becomes stagnant again, which is why then you have to again cheat your body and then change your routine, change your exercise plan, maybe stop dieting. So I have
But Fatima,
patient-
one thing though, sorry, you can of course carry on with your story after this. I'm sure there's a technical term for it, but I don't know it, so I'm just going to ask you anyway. So, for example, when I was overweight and I was addicted to, let's say, fries. Every time I would have fries, I'm sure they would add something on to me, right? But now that I'm not, the same diet that used to add on to me would not do it anymore. Does this happen? Like one diet that used to add on to your weight earlier would not do it anymore once you're fit?
That's exactly what I said, right?
Okay.
So it's with gaining and losing also. So there's some people who are Coke addicts, Coca-Cola addicts. So after a certain point, I've seen people, they're anorexic, they're skinny, but when you ask them how much Coke do you drink, they
Yeah.
drink literally like,
Yeah.
I don't
2,
know.
3 cans a day, probably.
Yeah,
4
3,
cans.
4 cans a day. And
Okay.
Coke does not do anything to them. It's actually just eating their body from the inside. So
Oh.
it's different for everybody. And after a certain point, your body gets adapted to your lifestyle. So then it doesn't really make a difference to you.
Exactly.
Okay. And you know what? This actually reminds me of something I read on Reddit. And this was one of the very common questions that I think everyone asks, where you read that, 2,000 calories on average a person should intake in a day. So why does your body make you feel like you sometimes want more? Or where does it go if you still take more than 2,000?
I have a reason for that.
Yeah, of course you can. And then, someone explained it in such a way that even minds like me understood. They said that, when you're talking about, well, coal and how to get fire out of that. So
Yeah.
if you're required to put 2,000 pieces of coal into it, you will, and it will burn. But if you put more, the person
It'll
is going to
still
think,
burn.
you know what, I have extra, right? So I'm just going to save it, and I'm just going to keep saving it because I just burnt my 2,000, I don't need to burn them.
Yeah.
So of course, when you save it, you're going to get fat. And then eventually, if you don't put in when you go on a diet, that is how it works for 2 to 3 days, then the saved up coal is going to be burnt up if you don't eat
Yeah.
anything. So this was my way of understanding it, but it is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. On average, of course, you can ask your expert for your particular body type, but on average, 2,000 calories per day, and that probably just finishes with 2 boxes of Pringles, so don't go overboard with that.
Exactly, yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, I think what we're trying to recommend over here is that it's not just only the diet, it's the workout as well.
Yeah.
So it's 70% your diet and 30% is your workout. And what I've realized in my life is that, first of all, obviously, your life needs to be disciplined. You need to wake up at certain time, you need to sleep at certain time
Yes,
as well.
obviously.
Because this is one thing which I've observed for myself, and that is that those nights which I haven't slept very well, the next morning when I'm going to get up, till the time I'm going to sleep, I'm just going to munch on something. So if I haven't slept enough, I'll just keep on munching, I'll just keep on eating, the mood won't be right as well. So sleeping, and then sleeping actually helps your muscle development as well. Is there any truth in it?
Yeah, Shahzad, so basically there's something known as the REM cycle, and the REM cycle starts from 10 p.m. till 3 a.m.
Okay.
Which means any sleep that has been taken between these hours is the best sleep. Okay? Because there are certain hormones that are released in your body when you wake up and when your body is shutting down. So just like you wake up and you really don't know how your systems inside wake up and shut down.
Yeah.
So exactly like that, after 10 p.m. your REM cycle starts. So those hormones start getting released. But if you, let's say you push it and you're sleeping around 2 a.m. or like 3 a.m., so that all just went to waste.
Yeah.
Of course, it's biological and you cannot fight, the nature, and that is what is healthy for you as well. Very quickly though. Quick answers, of course, I know this can't be really short, but I do want you both to answer this. When you did, achieve your dream weight, or mashallah, the way you guys look right now, do you feel like people started treating you differently?
Yeah.
Yeah, for you?
I felt like that.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we get a lot of fan mails as well, and eventually when people started to see that, you know, oh, you're getting all muscular, I got a lot of attention.
Right? It
I'm
happens.
being honest
I
over here.
believe it's mostly because of the stereotype that our society carries on. Yes, I did receive a lot of different kind of behavior from people. It was mostly positive. People got really inspired, and one of the most best success stories for me was like people looked at my weight loss journey, and my friend, she one day she called me and she said to me that, hey, you know, I lost 30 kgs just by looking at
Oh,
you.
Yeah.
you must have felt so good, right?
I felt really good from inside. So what I feel is that, you know, this, yes, 70% is nutrition, 30% is the work that you put in, but there is also there are two major elements that comes into this, and that is the mental well-being
Oh, of
and
course.
how you physically. So your there are ways you can find excuses for yourself, but one thing that you can control is your behavior and your attitude. So having a discipline, having the consistency to keep at it is something really important.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Thank you very
Brilliant.
much for saying that. And before I move on to Shiraz as well, ladies and gentlemen, imagine that, you know, when you start to get a lot of attention from your female fans as well, and that they're like, hey, you know what, you're actually getting younger and all of that stuff. So you just do not want to give up on your routine, and you really want to change your routine as well, probably after every month, that okay, you know, I'm going to do these exercises. But there's one very important thing which I need to ask, and that is that once you've achieved that weight, you obviously have to maintain it. Nobody speaks about the kind of diet you need to have when you have to maintain it. So very quickly, because we only have one minute, so you know, for 1 minute for you and 1 minute for Fatima. Please go ahead.
Well, it's all, as I said, that it's about changing your lifestyle. So the maintenance automatically comes in when you've changed your lifestyle and you've seen the results. So in order to live in that way, you don't have to do any special effort.
Yeah.
That is how it is.
That becomes your lifestyle,
Yeah,
right?
it
So it's-
becomes your lifestyle.
So to maintain your weight,
So I always tell my patients that you can eat everything and anything as long as you eat the right amount. Do not overeat and do not eat like it's your last meal. And just if you're really dying to have something, try it, but you don't need to like go overboard
Yeah.
with whatever you're eating. You need to close your mouth to actually maintain.
or wear a
it.
mask permanently, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us.
Thank
It was
you.
wonderful to have you, and the kind of conversation we had was very lively, and we hope that people might have taken a lesson out of it as well. Number one, it's the discipline, ladies and gentlemen. It's healthy eating habits as well, and making sure that you sleep on time. The REM cycle, which Miss Fatma actually told us about as well. But before
Yes.
going, there's only one last message which I'm going to give you, and that is that if you're going to eat the amount of food, just like the way you eat your medicines, you know, smaller in amounts, you won't actually need medicines to eat as well. But if,
Absolutely.
God forbid, you're going to eat this much amount of food, then, ladies and gentlemen, you'll eventually need these much amount of medicines as well to save your life. Please make sure that you look out for yourself.
Yes, just one thing though, just make sure to not body shame anyone, even if they are, if you think they're overweight or underweight as well. Of course, there are different ways you can ask them or motivate them, but just do not body shame. It really makes them feel bad.
For
as well.
example, how do we tell a fat person that you're fat? How do we
Why
tell
do you need to tell them? Why do you think they don't know?
Because
it's the
their loved
10
ones, you
second
know,
rule.
they're not actually paying heed to it. I
You
have
know
a
what?
cousin, I tell him every single day that, you know, you probably need to start working out with me. He's not learning that way. One day I'll actually have to tell him that, hey, you know what, you're getting fat, bro. You need to change your life around.
You know what? This
At
is
times it's important.
This is a larger
important.
debate.
It's
It is
really
important, but there are different certain ways you can go about it. You wouldn't like someone else, you know, from outside your family to come tell you, Shazad, this
Yeah,
is
not
how you
outside the
look.
family, obviously.
So this is what
My
matters,
cousin-
ladies and
my cousin
gentlemen. Yeah,
only.
you know, just be really sensitive with whatever the words that you utter. Especially, don't make someone feel bad.
Yeah.
Write to if you learn something, and if you have any questions, do write to us to let us know on our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube with the name of.
Well, this morning, and ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's true. Just like what Shiraz said, that do not actually call anybody fat, because the moment I call somebody fat, the next 3 months I'm fat again as well. So please don't do that. Karma is for real. Ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves. We're very short on
Right.
time. Have a great day. Good
Good morning. Stay safe.
Young girls in the beautiful valley of Kashmir sing and dance to the soft and lyrical music. Please enjoy the Kashmiri dance.